love of God. Oh, the love of God, who never relents and always pursues, and out of the water will make something new. You see, first, there was the one, the only one that was the original dreamer, designer, poet, who created the world as we sit here and know it. The earth was darkness, formless, void, a watery black mess, and the Spirit of God hovered over its vastness. He split the water from floor to sky, and out of the water brought land that was dry. And into that land, he bent down to make the pinnacle of creation, the human race. With his own hands, he formed Adam and Eve. He breathed in us life, his image and being. All was perfection as it was meant to be, us and Creator, our Father, our King. But in the stories we know and the stories we make, there's always that moment where things start to break. When the serpent came and whispered a lie, and the lie took root, which started to climb to our hearts and our minds, and we deeply believed that the wisdom of God was something we could achieve. And that lie became truth, as it so often can. So we took and we ate and we fell from his hand. His holy hand could no longer hold the sin we created, and back into darkness, that water, the human race faded. But oh, the love of God, oh, the love of God, who never relents and always pursues, and out of the water will make something new. And so it began. It's the point of the story of God reclaiming his people lost and without hope for his glory. First, he chose from a land far away a husband and wife without son or child on the way. But to Abraham, he promised that from his family tree would come the Redeemer to set us free. But in the stories we know and the stories we make, there's always that moment where things start to break. And once again, we fell back into the water, this time with chains and shackles, brick and mortar. In Egypt, we became slaves of a king who thought he was Lord, building his mountains and his statues for his glory and his honor. We cried out every hour, every day, every night for our Creator to rescue us, to free us, to fight. Moses was chosen to rise up and take a stand. Let my people go, for God has a plan. But the king only laughed and hardened his heart. And so God sent plagues to take his heart and soul and break it apart. And the king finally bent and unlocked our chains, and we walked out of slavery to a promised land God would claim. When at the edge of the sea, the king changed his mind, and with death in his eyes thought to wipe out this line. But guys, our Creator did what he will always do. He called life out of water and made something new. He split the Red Sea like he split the waters in the sky, holding two walls of water upon either side, and we walked through in awe of this God who so loved, who bent heaven and earth to bring us back home. So into a promised land we started to wander, seeing God face to face and the love of a perfect Father. Guys, we were finally home. We were finally free with God as our shepherd and God as our king. But in the stories we know and the stories we make, there's always that moment where things start to break. We didn't want this Creator who rescued our lives as if he had any say over me and what's mine. And so we turned our hearts over to idols we made, only to once again put on the shackles of slaves. We were driven out of the land that was promised. In exile, we thought we'd be a people forever forgotten. We cried out every hour, every day, every night for our Creator to again rescue us, redeem us, make all things right. But oh, the love of God, oh, the love of God, who never relents and always pursues, and out of the water will make something new. Our Creator had a plan, as he always has. The time for restoration had come at last. Creator stepped into humanity, fully God and fully flesh, who taught, walked on water, healed, forgave sins, raised the dead. This is Jesus. What every story from creation points to, who would take the sins of the world and make us new. But in the handed him over to the Roman cross, yelling, "Crucify, crucify," knowing he would die. Isn't that what we always do? Look past his plan, his purpose, his love, thinking ourselves as the point of the story, that all of life is for us and our glory? Jesus was tortured, suffered, cried out and breathed his last, and once again the world was darkness and vast. He died. He was buried. He was placed in a tomb. Where is this love that relentlessly pursues? Oh, love of God. Oh, the love of God, who never relents and always pursues, and out of the water will make something new. Death was the plan from the very beginning. On Friday, Jesus died, and it seemed like evil was winning. In the garden, we were deceived, and on Calvary, we grieved. God's perfect plan, his promise, we could not see. But death could not hold him. A plot twist had come. On the third day, Jesus rose, and Satan's power was done. This is Easter. This is our story too, that God is a God who relentlessly pursues. Since the dawn of creation, God has always kept us close. We ran from him, doubted him, and sought control. Yet God remained firm to his promise, proving all of it to be true, that a Savior has indeed come to restore and to renew. You guys see, out of the mess, out of the darkness, out of the grave, out of the water, God made something new. Because God is a God who relentlessly pursues.
Amen.
This is why today matters.
Amen.
And what baptism symbolizes.
I love you, my family, my friends.
And out of the water, new
Thank you for being a part of my
rises.
life.
Today, we reject our hopeless past and accept his resurrection, because God offers us new life in him, a life that will forever last.
Amen.
Oh, the love of God. Oh, the love of God, who never relents and always pursues, and out of the water will make something new.
Amen. Thank you, my friends, for being a part of new life in me. I love you all. Happy Easter.
Oh, man. Is that awesome?